promoting divisionary politics, mischief and even ruining the future of the students of Tamil Nadu. And angry MK Stalin has in fact been quick to respond on X. He even told Mr. Pradhan to mind his words and tongue. He tagged the Prime Minister. Stalin in fact demanded that the Education Minister should be disciplined. Now the row over Hindi imposition, a sensitive topic in the South and particularly in Tamil Nadu, where violent anti-Hindi riots had broken out in the 1960s and which has always been opposed to the language being foisted on it, has re-erupted with the Bharatiya Janata Party pushing its new education policy. The DMK of course argues that Tamil Nadu has flourished with a two-language system, which is Tamil and English, and sees no need for a third language at all. So is it now time to change history, and is there a need for it at all to even change this new policy? But of course that's not all, as DMK MPs have also staged a walkout today in the Rajya Sabha. They are demanding a discussion also on fair delimitation in Tamil Nadu. The Union Health Minister JP Nadda was quick to condemn the opposition over its misuse of notices under Rule 267. Now he claims that this is a vicious design by the opposition to give an impression that the government did not want to enter a debate or even answer any questions on this issue. And we'll be posing this to our guests in just a bit, if the discussions on delimitation or the NEP are justified and what is the government doing about it.
The honorable member who raised the question, she also came to see me with honorable Education Minister of Tamil Nadu. They agreed, they went back, they have a U-turn. It is their problem.
He calls us uncivilized. Are these parliamentary words, and is the minister, especially the Minister of Education, should he be using words like this? Calling an elected Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, isn't this insulting the people of Tamil Nadu?
We will not accept not only the three language formula, the other things also are there. So I think every state need not go behind the union government. Whatever the decision they take and implement, we run behind them, and getting money means we are not going with begging bowls.
Once they say third language, the third language inevitably will be Hindi. They will say that Tamil Nadu does not have adequate Hindi teachers. So since we are funding it, we will send Hindi teachers from the north of India, and these Hindi teachers will come and distort our culture.
किसी भी मंदिर में चले जाइए, तमिल के मंदिर में चले जाइए, तेलुगु के मंदिर में चले जाइए, कन्नड़ के मंदिर में चले जाइए, सभी जगह संस्कृत में ही पूजा होता है। चुनाव हारने के डर से ये न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी का विरोध कर रहे हैं।
Let me introduce our guests. Today I'm joined in by Rohan Gupta, who is the spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party, Mr. Pula Rao, who is a political analyst, Chainika Unyal, who is a spokesperson for the Congress Party, and Rajat Sethi, who is a political analyst. Mr. Rao, of course, I'm going to need you to set the tone for the discussion today, which is why I want to ask you, if exactly a year ago, on 15th of March in 2024, if MK Stalin gave an undertaking that they are willing to sign up for the MOU, and in fact even returned an MOU draft back in August of that very year, where they had removed a very key paragraph as far as the NEP policy is concerned. So who is now the liar? Is this going to be Dharmendra Pradhan who is going to be the liar, or MK Stalin? Is not Mr. Pradhan justified when he is attacking Stalin for the U-turn that his government is making?
Is this the way? I only ask you one thing. Have you ever heard in your career a central minister speak like this? He's a liar. You're uncivilized. I haven't. Even the worst discourses in parliament against each other, they have not said these things. I am very, very surprised. This is not the way to get things done. Forget the issue. There are bound to be differences between a state and center. It's nothing great. There are different political parties. They have different philosophies. It's a federal state. It's a federal country, rather. And you have to handle these things very gingerly. You see, let me tell you, our federal government rules India, but it doesn't rule a territory directly. It uses the states, and the states and center have to work together. What is this? It is unparliamentary. The speaker has a list of phrases. They have compilation of phrases, and uncivilized is one of them. Uncivilized. Is he a minister for education, or any minister should always try to win over the opposition? You're right. I'm wrong. Then is this a court? Is he a prosecuting attorney or an advocate general who's making arguments? No. He's a minister for education, has a huge budget. He wants to get ahead. No room for diplomacy, negotiation, calling him over, discussing.
I beg to differ
I have only
there.
one point.
As far as diplomacy and negotiation is concerned, I think the timeline in itself has been testimony to it. I just referred to what happened on 15th of March 2024.
One small point.
It was MK Stalin's government and the DMK which showed the willingness to sign that MOU.
No. Yeah, you
So
can't.
there has been
happened,
ample scope of negotiation.
no, if that is what happened, if, you don't say he came, he agreed, now is a lie, you should say we'll discuss. How did the GST, 29 states come together unanimously? How did they do it? There has to be infinite patience. And forget the issue, I definitely have everywhere, just cross the line.
All right, let me now bring in Rohan Gupta. Rohan Gupta, Dharmendra Pradhan being attacked for using unparliamentary language. We appreciate that one of the words that was used today was expunged, but was this actually uncivil? What has the BJP got to say?
See, basically, if you see the complete row, Akanksha, from the time it has started, the way Sanskrit was being, insulted by Stalin, and the way the objective is, the elections are coming, and the government has completely failed in the promises made to the people of the state. So obviously, they have to divert the attention. See, the Tamil respect doesn't mean that you disrespect Sanskrit. There is no point in him attacking Sanskrit. We know that Sanskrit and Tamil go hand in hand. This is one country. Why to divide South versus North when the elections come? I think this is a serious systematic approach of these state governments who have completely failed in their governments to divert the attention and bring this North versus South divide, which is dangerous for the country. I think this is a very, very dangerous trend. Whenever elections come, you just divide states out of states. And the opposition leader, one of the leaders, they always state that we are union of states and there is a fight in between. I think this is a dangerous
I want to ask you this very question, that is this not a matter of political opportunism when you had the remaining budget session in August, you had a monsoon session, you had the winter session. None of these three sessions were utilized by the DMK government to raise the issue of NEP 2020. Why wake up now?
That's what I'm saying. This is height of opportunism. This is precisely.
Have no timeline.
Let's listen into what Pulara has to say.
There's no timeline. Why did you raise it now? I heard what Mr. Gupta said. It's political. It's bad governance. That will have consequences if he is correct. Should they keep quiet? I firmly believe a state government can raise these issues any time. It's not a court that you have to move motions. A delimitation. It's a hot issue. Everybody's mind. National education policy and Hindi is a very big issue in Tamil Nadu for the last 70 years. And therefore, I don't find anything wrong in them raising it. All I'm saying is, some things a central minister should have. Why are the other ministers not?
I think it is time. It is time to answer the question that who is actually, delving or dabbling into divisive politics. Who is responsible for imposition over here? Was it DMK which was imposing two languages so far, and is it actually the BJP which is now suggesting a third language which is optional, but and is being accused of imposition? But I'm going to bring in the Congress spokesperson over here, Chainika Unyal. Chainika, thank you for so patiently awaiting your turn. But I was rather disturbed by what Karti Chidambaram had to say. I think it reeks of divisive politics when you say that you will be bringing Hindi teachers from North India who will distort our culture, and this is going to be RSS ploy, who will teach that Godse was a hero and Gandhi was a villain. But why, talk, even if there are teachers being sent from Northern India, what's the harm?
See, first I would like to say that the government should understand India is not a centralized power. It has a federal structure where each state has its own unique requirements and demands. So it's not unusual for a state government to holding different opinion or on various issues. It happened earlier also when Congress was in center power. So if there are differences, then the duty of central government is to recognize these differences and work toward the finding a balanced solution. And in democracy, you see, opposition has all right to voice its disagreements. But labeling someone as undemocratic or uncivilized solely because they have different opinion.
No, but I want to ask you, who is labeling?
Undemocratic approach also.
Who is labeling?
Regarding the language, if you are saying,
if Karti Chidambaram is afraid that teachers will be sent from Northern India, what India are we talking about? Where we are constantly demarcating the country between North and South.
It's not about the
Is
North
this
and South.
Dravidian model of education about
kind of ideology
about eulogizing the divide between the North and the South?
See, one thing you need to understand, you are basically trying to capture the minds of the people from the certain kind of ideology. If you are very, I want to ask one question from the Rohan Gupta here. If they are very, very serious about the Hindi or the Sanskrit, let's take the Hindi. It's also a mother tongue. It's my mother tongue. Okay? It's my mother tongue. There is a department in DU which is called Hindi Madhyam Karyanvan Nideshalaya. Okay? That department used to publish a quality Hindi medium books for the students. Let's ask them. In last 10 years, how many Hindi medium books have been published by this department for the Hindi medium student? If they are very serious about the medium, they are not. They are doing politics on the name of the
Rohan, let's also listen to what he has to say, Rohan.
Akanksha, this is the point. She is completely diverting the topic right now. The debate here is dividing between North and South. It is not about Hindi or it is not about Tamil. The kind of narrative they are trying to. Please, I never spoke in between
North and South.
Please let me complete.
In today's day and age, what should be the ideology? Should it not be about promoting multilingualistic culture in the country?
This is about India.
Jainika, I want to ask you this. And should it not be left to the students to decide what they want to choose instead of playing politics over it, whether it is the DMK or the BJP leading the center?
There is no point in playing politics. That's what I'm saying.
Then why has your own party, which is governing Himachal and Karnataka, opted for the NEP of 2020? Why? Tell me something, Chainika, why has Karnataka opted for the
on point of view, on specific requirements?
All right.
Opinion. If the the state government and central governments have the difference of opinion, the central government should have courage to.
All right, Rajat Sethi, I think I have exposed the hypocrisy of the opposition today. Let me bring you in. Chainika, thank you for making that point, but you've still not been able to explain why Karnataka has opted for NEP 2020 or even your own Himachal Pradesh where you are governing. Rajat Sethi, I think, is this not a classist, elitist mindset where a certain section of students in Tamil Nadu who are studying in, coming from affluent families, are studying in private schools, are being given that access to choose Hindi or not, or have an option of third language. But when it comes to these students of government schools, why shouldn't they have that option?
See, exactly. I mean, I feel sorry that the 21st century India, largely young India, aspiring to go up and lead and become a Vishwa Guru of the world, is still debating on language issues which are 60, 70-year-old issues, when artificial intelligence is taking over, when you need to start prepping up and start designing large language models around Tamil language. If you have to save Hindi or Tamil or Sanskrit, you should be putting in your efforts behind artificial intelligence. That is a more foolproof way than worrying about what NCERT book is going to say and do. See, this is the problem. The problem is not about saving Tamil or saving Hindi and talking apolitical completely. I'm not talking on BJP, DMK, Congress line. All I'm saying is that these politicians have the nefarious interest of only winning elections. All these years, in 2021, we saw NEET became a do or die kind of an issue in the state of Tamil Nadu. The entire state was pushed into this ruckus around NEET. Nothing happened. Today, has any policy step happened around NEET? Nothing at all. Let me tell you one more thing. You know, this Hindi, opposition to Hindi becomes opposition to North India in the state. You know what happened in Tirupur? In Tirupur, which is one of the biggest hubs of textile manufacturing in our country, all the Bihari population which was working in those textile industries had to flee that state overnight. I have met people in Coimbatore and in Tirupur, all these, industry owners, they are repenting that if we keep fighting on these zero-sum problems, we will never advance forward. And now they are not able to attract back labor. Labor doesn't want to go there because they feel that if they go there, they will be attacked and be persecuted. Why should they go there? See, and now Tamil Nadu already has serious problems. Samsung strike just got over. You are one of the states which the entire world is looking up to. Can't you for once come up with progressive politics?
I think you've made some very valid points, and Pulara, I want you to come in on this. And while you answer that, also answer if what Dharmendra Pradhan has said today is being regarded as disrespect for the people of Tamil Nadu, then the defacing of all the Hindi signage, was that not disrespect for the entire nation?
Very nice. I heard what Mr. Rajat said. Language is a very critical issue. Today, the ongoing wars and standoffs, Spain, Spanish and Basque going on. Canada, Quebec has go and search what Quebec has done.
Then by that logic, Pulara, do you admit that the defacing of Hindi signages is also disrespect to the entire nation?
A law and order problem. It's not everybody went and did it.
No, it's not about law and order. Let's call a spade a spade. It happened under the government which is opposing Hindi.
No, I don't. But I want to ask you, if any of these friends here say, have they heard a central minister speak like this in the last 20 years? I haven't. And his remarks are expunged. Usually it's the opposition MPs whose remarks are expunged. This has gone beyond the line. He will not be in a position unless he steps down from his high horse and negotiates. Who asks him? He is a minister of the government of India, sworn in under the constitution. It is not some private limited company.
You know, I would have appreciated if you would have shown the same kind of, fervor to actually admonish what happened in Tamil Nadu, and those Hindi signages were also being defaced. Because I think if we are living in a country which appreciates and respects our diversities, and diversity not just for a particular language, all languages, that includes our regional languages and the mother tongue as well, then perhaps also be equally honest in condemning these acts. And I would have appreciated it if MK Stalin would have stepped out as well. Rohan Gupta, I want to bring you in on the issue of delimitation. Now, we've seen that Mr. JP Nadda also condemned the opposition. He said that, under the notice or garb of 267, they are using this to project an image that the government doesn't want to answer questions, that we are not inclined to engage in a debate when it comes to the issue of, fair delimitation in the state of Tamil Nadu. But then why not answer questions? Why not answer? And why not perhaps ward off those fears which are about whether this delimitation will be on pro rata based on the seats or the population?
See, again, Akanksha, there are laid down, guidelines as far as delimitation is concerned in our constitution. It's a clear-cut guideline that what is the population and how the number of seats will be divided. This is again they are using as north versus south. They are not even, they don't want to, they have always sworn in the name of constitution. They have taken the copy of constitution.
Here's where I'll say that there has been no clear-cut remark coming in from either the Union Home Minister or any of the home ministers or the Prime Minister himself.
Again, there is a clear-cut laid down process. Delimitation has a time, and the guidelines are clearly written. The notifications will come. What process will be followed? But again, they are making it a political issue that number of seats will be reduced in South. That is not the case. Whenever delimitation process happens, there is a due process which is laid down, and that process needs to be followed. We will follow that. But again, I am coming to the core issue, Akanksha, whether it is a language issue or delimitation issue. The basic objective of the opposition party is to create ruckus and make it a political issue. Divide North versus South, question government on delimitation, and all the points, if you see, they are questioning the constitution. So I am raising the larger point here. Since the government has miserably failed on ground, it is their compulsion to divert issues from the core issues which the people of Tamil Nadu are facing.
Pullar, I want to bring you in on that bit.
Okay. Mr. Gupta, what was the 42nd constitutional amendment? What is the 84th constitutional amendment? Those were the guidelines we want. We want the same guidelines of 84th constitutional amendment passed during Vajpayee's time. Rotation of seats, freezing the number. Somewhere around.
Okay, I will.
Those are the guidelines. To Akanksha, pro-rata our population is the same thing. I think it was a misspoken by Shri Amit Shah ji when he said everything will be fair, there will be no less seats. Pro-rata. Pro-rata means based on the population, which according to the 84th amendment, it is against it. Please remember that. We have, people say it's very fair. It is not fair in a country like ours because of various reasons. We are not a homogeneous population speaking Mandarin or Japanese like the Chinese and Japanese. There's various problems here. And therefore, I just remind my friend, 84th constitutional amendment was passed by Vajpayee. And we hope that similar amendment will be attached to the Delimitation Act.
Rajat Sethi, how do you respond to fears that the southern states will be losing seats just because they have followed, population control measures?
This is as bizarre as it gets. Now, it has been almost 25 years since this delimitation exercise has been postponed. It is for that reason, because politicians of all hues and colors appreciate this problem. Nobody is trying to thrust it. But the real problem of divisive attitude is what Dr. Pullar just said. He's trying to give examples of Barcelona. He's trying to give examples of Quebec, where secessionist movements are going on. Is he trying to say and echo the voice of a former chief minister who said that we should think about United States of South India? This is an open question to you. Of course, representation should not go. And do you understand what pro-rata means? Pro-rata means that in the proportion that Tamil Nadu has in the current Lok Sabha seat, that proportion will remain intact. This constitution is not cast in stone. Sir, allow me a minute. Allow me a minute, sir. Sir, allow me a minute. This constitution is not cast in stone. Our constitution makers were mindful that there will be events in the future which might require it to be amended. Let us all come together. Let's not do politics on such issues. Talk about it write about op-ed, write about articles. I mean, come on. The real problem here is that none of the politicians in South India as we speak today have till now condemned either what D.K. Shivkumar's brother has said or what the former Chief Minister of Telangana has said when he talked about United States of South India. They say, this politician of Karnataka says that we don't have any problem with Pakistan. It is a North India problem. This is the deep secessionist attitude, mindset, which needs to be nipped in the bud. And there cannot be two ways about it. What Pullar ji just said, he was mentioning Quebec, he was mentioning parts of Ukraine, all the areas where secessionist movements are going on. Is he through this statement trying to say that secessionism is not in India? Why did you bring out that movement otherwise? See, the answer is simple. Do not try to politicize every single issue just around the time of election. If you want to have healthy debates, do it at the right platforms, right forums. Pick the right issues, take it to the logical conclusion. Why did Tamil Nadu not take NEP to the logical conclusion till now? Do you have an answer? No, because it's only around the time of election that you will raise these issues and try and color people's mind.
Okay, let's listen to what Pullar has to say. Pullar, I give you a quick 1 minute for rebuttal.
1 second. There were 400 non-South Indian MPs. Did one speak in a South Indian language? They were eloquent, very eloquent. One of them, had they spoken today, that I wouldn't want to mention name, Dubey, the education, nothing. It shows to us Number one.
Even the
Number
Prime
two,
Minister, when he goes to Tamil Nadu, he
number
attempts
two.
speaking in Tamil.
Let me talk, please. Number two, I only say language is a sensitive issue. That's all I say. Three, if some random politician, MP, MLA says something, who cares?
No, I'm not
We are
talking
now
about.
talking about
We are not talking about random MLAs.
He's the
Kullara. I want to ask you,
politician.
why
He's not
would
a
you
random
not?
politician.
Why would you not give the centre credit when the centre comes up with the decision
Right.
to conduct CAPF exams in 13 regional languages, including Tamil? Why can't MK Stalin also now proceed
can't they
with
call him
a similar
nicely?
decision for engineering and
agree.
medical papers?
I agree with Mr. Rajat Sethi. They should sit together. I agree. They should sit together. That's what I've been saying from the start of this debate. It is up to the government of India to say, let us see, is there any common ground before we abruptly cut off each other? That's what I say.
I want to ask Chainika also. Chainika, you still not answered my question about what prompted these decisions from Karnataka and Himachal Pradesh to opt for the NEP 2020. What was it?
I already told you, but I don't know, you didn't get it. I said that each state has its own unique requirements and demands. So
No, but
if
that's a
Tamil
very
Nadu
vague
is having-
response.
if
Very
Tamil Nadu
vague
government
response.
is having-
Every
Please
state
let me
has a
complete.
unique response, unique.
Please let
requirement.
me complete,
Yes,
na.
let's
Please
come
let
up
me
with
complete.
facts.
If you want, you don't give me the chance to complete my words.
Go
then
ahead.
how it's going to be a debate, huh?
Go ahead.
If you are asking something, let me give the chance to answer the question. You may disagree with my opinion. You may say that I haven't answered your question. That is your opinion, but I'm answering. I'm trying to explain myself. If Karnataka government or the Himachal government or other government is thinking the NEP is feasible for them, then that's their opinion, na? If Tamil Nadu government is having some different opinion, so the central government should have sit together with the state government and try to find out some kind of balanced solution for
What
that.
else has the centre been doing so far? Rohan Gupta, come here and answer that. When Kasturi Rangan actually went on to say that no language is being imposed, multilingual flexibility is still the basis for the new NEP 2020. And here the lady is not even being able to describe to me or justify why her own party ruled states have opted for the NEP 2020, but is saying that DMK is justified. Chainika, you've not given
That's
me
what
any
I'm
facts.
saying.
I want to hear it from Rohan Gupta now.
Akansha, when you raise the issues where you don't have the logic, but it is your political compulsion to raise the issue because of the election, this kind of contradictions will happen. And that is what we are seeing. You are asking very simple question, but there is no answer because there is contradiction. Because the basic objective here is not the logic behind the point. It is about the politics behind that point. That is what they are dividing north versus south. Why it is required? The kind of statement if you see from the Congress MP, I don't think so this is called for. You have to unite the country. You can raise the issue. You can raise all these issues in a normal phase.
No, because
not at the
Chainika,
time
you've
of
been
election.
talking.
Why you have
I want to
debate
go back to
Sanskrit
Chainika.
or Tamil?
You said that there should be space and room for discussion and that negotiations should be there, right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And hasn't that been happening for over a year? This after MK Stalin gave a nod himself. There was a draft MOU which was sent back to the centre in July of 2024 where he removed a key paragraph from NEP 2020. And then there is this blame game that Dharmendra Pradhan is lying. Dharmendra Pradhan says that DMK is lying, that Stalin is lying. I don't understand. Why is this becoming an ethical or a moral debate where it's very simple?
See, if still I'm saying that if the Tamil Nadu government is still having some issue, then there should be a debate, there should be a balanced solution for that rather than blaming them.
All right,
Blaming
Rajat
each other.
Sethi,
Okay.
let's
And
quickly...
second thing, one more thing. Continuously we are talking about the multi-language and we are saying that we are proposing the different kind of exams in multi-language. But you see what we are offering the students in multi-language. Are we publishing any kind of books for them? Is there any kind of publication you are seeing?
Okay, I'm running
different
short of
languages?
time. Thank you for sharing those views. Let me quickly now come to Rajat Sethi. I'd like to have your closing thoughts now before I move over to my next discussion.
Akanksha, I hope and pray that our nation, which is confronted by orders of problems which are much bigger, the locus is outside our country. We are in this massive technological fight with all the key stakeholders now leaving us behind. We need to be ready, be prepared for, and have our focus on those problems. These problems are of Stone Age. It do not belong to the current age. If any government, be it Hindi ruling government or Tamil ruling government or Telugu ruling governments, they need to start investing in technological means, innovative means, instead of fighting over textbooks of NCRT. That's my humble suggestion. I hope Chief Minister Stalin builds an LLM model in Tamil, rolls it out so that we people from North India can also learn Tamil at our ease.
Oh,
Please do that.
Absolutely. And as the UGC said, that focus on spreading awareness about the new education policy among students and teachers rather than politicizing it. Many thanks to you all for joining in on the Hard Facts. And with that, we're slipping into a quick break. But up next is the storm over a fashion show in Kashmir's Gulmarg. Is this extremism against expression in Jammu and Kashmir? We'll be posing that question to our guests in just a bit.
सम्मान कैपिटल
In first place, the next Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, with 131,674 votes, resulting in 29,457 allocated points, representing 85.9% of the vote.
My government will put into action our plan to build a stronger economy, to create new trading relationships with reliable trading partners, and to secure our borders. There's someone who's trying to do the opposite. There's someone who's trying to weaken our economy. Yeah. Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, as we know, has put, as the Prime Minister just said, unjustified tariffs on what we build, on what we sell, on how we make a living. He's attacking Canadian families.
Welcome back. A few skimpily clad models at a fashion show on a snow-covered runway in Kashmir's Gulmarg has stirred the hornet's nest during the holy month of Ramadan. In fact, the outrage found wide echo in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly today. This as Chief Minister Omar Abdullah clarified that his government had no role in the event organized at a private hotel and would not have given permission even if it was not the holy month of Ramadan. At the center of this controversy over the show, which the Grand Mufti of Jammu and Kashmir has called a cultural invasion, were designer duos Shivan and Naresh. Political voices from across Kashmir's political spectrum have accused the government and its tourism department of being hell-bound to demolish Kashmir's moral, ethical, cultural and religious values. But in the chorus of condemnation, many have also questioned the medieval mindset in Kashmir, with many even praising that this was a sign of normalcy in Kashmir, especially after the removal of its special status in August of 2019. So is the shock and anger in Kashmir even justified? The same Kashmir, which was once a hotbed of militancy, a land of breathtaking beauty, long struggled with isolation and underdevelopment, is finally getting a new lease of life with a steady rise in tourism. But has this controversy also exposed the remnants of extremism against expression?
इस ज़मीन को हम नापाक नहीं होने देंगे, चाहे इसके लिए हमें अपनी जानों का नजराना भी पेश करना पड़े। जिसने इसकी इजाज़त दी है, CEO ऑफ गुलमर्ग को बिल्कुल बर्खास्त कर दिया जाए।
जो मैंने देखा वहाँ पर, वो तो रमजान छोड़िए, साल की किसी भी दिन वो नहीं होना चाहिए। लेकिन मैं एक बात यहाँ क्लियर करना चाहता हूँ, हुकूमत की तरफ से इसमें कोई रोल नहीं।
आज आप हाउस को बोल रहे मैं इंक्वायरी करवाऊंगा। इंक्वायरी आप कराएं अपने घर वालों की, अपने रिश्तेदारों की, जिन्होंने ये प्रोग्राम कराया।
इतनी अश्लील, वल्गर, ऑब्सीन, खुले आम आप बर्फ पे अपने मॉडल्स की वॉकिंग करा रहे हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं जो NC सरकार है उनको जिम्मेवारी लेनी पड़ेगी। आपके होते हुए ये हुआ है, आप हर एक चीज से अपना हाथ धोना चाहते हैं।
All right, let me introduce our guests today. I'm joined in by Tausif Shah, who's the spokesperson for the PDP, Nasser Abdullah, who's an actor. I'm being told that Umesh Talashi, who's the spokesperson for the NC, will be joining in a minute. In fact, let me quickly, in the moment, go to Tausif first. Tausif, now that the Grand Mufti has also said that this is a cultural invasion, why is it being called a cultural invasion A? You're also accusing the Chief Minister, especially because he has the tourism department portfolio under him. But you've seen how he's reacted. He's condemned this entire episode. Why now, just accuse the Chief Minister?
Yeah, thanks for calling me online. But first of all, let me correct you that I'm not the spokesperson of the party.
Right.
I'm just a senior leader of the party. So please
my apologies.
correct it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we will.
Thanks a lot. So we have been seeing national conference. We have been seeing national conference government since our childhood. We have seen that this is the same government which does the things and then simply runs away by saying that we don't know. This was started with the hanging of Mr. Afzal Guru. They said we don't know how he was hanged, when he was hanged, and why he was hanged. Then came the part 2 when there was 2001-3 uprisings. So he was the chief minister and his home minister, Mr. Sagar, they came on the TV and said, we don't know who is killing them. So he doesn't know anything. He doesn't have the morality to be the CM of the state. He should have known. They should know. How is it possible? No, Mr. Talashi is very eager to respond. But Mr. Talashi, just let me finish first. You'll get your time. Just please let me finish. So we need to see that this. You should have taken care of this thing, that this is the holy month of Ramadan, when Muslims try to desist from these things, from this nudity, these nude shows. And then besides, being the tourist spot, we go there with our children, so this nudity would not be accepted in Srinagar. You have to see that you yourself say that this is a Muslim dominated place. When we respect the Hindu sentiment, when we respect that we should not eat the meat of cow because the meat of the cow is sacred to one religion. So likewise, you should also respect our sentiments and you should see that this nudity
but the BJP has very much condemned it in equal proportions. So, I mean,
how do we accept this? We can see that the Lieutenant Governor who comes from BJP, he's basically the BJP politician, and then the National Conference government, both are condemning. Then who allowed this?
Okay.
Then,
Umesh Talashi, I want to bring you in. Umesh, can the Chief Minister absolve himself of any responsibility for what has happened over there? Because just by saying that this was a private show, even though, yes, the tourism department is very much a portfolio that's under his control.
Look, let's be very clear here. The Honorable Chief Minister said it on the floor of the House. It was a private event, right? And then at the same point of time, we don't support it. We strictly condemn it. that obscenity, be it a holy month of Ramzan, with due respects to it, or be it, even if it's not Ramzan, Jammu and Kashmir, the land of holy saints and Sufis, we never respect, we never endorse. I'm sorry, we never endorse obscenity here. So it was brought to our cognizance this morning that such event has happened, and Honorable Chief Minister Saab was very strict on issuing the guidelines on taking the cognizance of the event and finding out who is responsible for it. So the point is that Jammu and Kashmir, even post Article 370 abrogation, we have seen a lot of tantrums happening here in Jammu and Kashmir. But obscenity is something. We do support fashion shows. We are not against fashion shows. But at the same point of time, we are not in support of nudity and obscenity here. Vulgarity is something that we can't accept here. So government has issued strict guidelines, government has asked for the inquiry about it, and whosoever is responsible for it will be taken to task.
Nasir Abdullah, I want to bring you in finally. Do you think that this would have been an issue if an India Fashion Week or a Lakme Fashion Week was happening simultaneously in the national capital at the month of Ramazan? Nasir Abdullah, I'm bringing, no, that's not a question for you. That's a question for Nasir Abdullah. I'll come to you. I'll let you come up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, here's the deal. For me, I'm a little astounded by the huge reactions of obscenity, ashlilta, obscene, whatever, naked and all that. A fashion show is a fashion show. And ashlilta, obscenity, or shodapan as we call it in Urdu, lies in our minds. We are looking at beauty, clothes being draped over the bodies of young men and women to enhance one aspect of whatever. So a lot of people are saying a lot of things because this seems to be a moment for everybody to shoot off. Let us be honest. And I also was of the opinion that maybe it could have been avoided during the month of the Ramzan. And yet, if some people want to do the show and they do it, the people who don't like it do not need to be a part of it. There is no sacrilege. There is no afat. There is no a calamity that will befall the land of India or Kashmir as a result, because the truth is, this is work and this is the right way. Please don't interrupt me.
Yes, allow him time. Allow him time.
Please don't interrupt me.
Allow him time.
I hate it when they interrupt me because I've gotten dressed for the occasion.
If you want nobody to speak over you, then allow others also that time, Umesh.
Otherwise, anyway. So I am saying this. I was not in favor of this show at this stage, because if there is a Muslim, whatever majority, and they're observing, it is a month of fasting and prayer, okay? It's a month of fast. So one can consider the fact and postpone it if they want to. If they don't, it is okay. No harm, no calamity will happen. God is not like one warden of a hostel with a danda in his hand, and he will not beat up everybody.
All right, let me also...
No calamity.
Okay, Umesh, how do you respond to that? But please keep in mind that Ramzan and any holy period would not have had a bearing if this were to be happening in some other part of India, perhaps any of the other metropolitan cities.
Can I come in, please?
Yes, I'm going to give you time, but let me also listen in from what Umesh has to say. Umesh, please go ahead. You wanted to make a point? Okay, I think we've lost his connection over there. But yes, Tausif, please go ahead.
Yeah. I just like to reply to Mr. Nasser. Look, Mr. Nasser, it's not a controversy. Let me tell you very clearly, when we see in the UP of India, when there's a fasting of Hindus, so there are Muslim shops that were stopped from selling meat. So if you go by this ideology that if you want to do, you have to do it, who does not want to do it, please don't attend this. So why don't you say the same lines when the Muslim shops are being stopped from selling meat during the Hindu fastings? So there should be it should be, there should be the same resemblance in both of the religions.
You heard it. You heard it. Nasser is giving you a thumbs up to that as well.
I don't know. I'll
just say that two wrongs will not make a right.
I don't like
exactly, you're right.
this form of the
No,
comparison.
then why have an
They've been
issue
happening for
with
too
the
long.
fashion
And
show?
listen, for me, it is a load of rubbish. I am saying, I have also said, I would have been happier if they had abstained from this. You didn't hear my whole thing because you were too eager to speak. I had said that this is a month of fasting and prayer. So it would have been better if they could have postponed it, but if they had to do it, it doesn't matter, because the people who need to follow their God can do so without being affected with all this. Why are you looking at this and making it a big deal for yourself? It is not a big deal, but we make it a big deal. That is
all right, I think the point is it's a very valid point. Yes, Umesh, I think there's also an alternate school of thought.
God is beneficent and merciful. God is beneficent and merciful. He's not a warden with a danda and he will beat you up for doing
Point
this.
taken, Nasser. Nasser, point taken. The gentleman here from NC has been waiting his turn. Let's also listen in from Umesh. Umesh, there's also an alternate school of thought that God is very kind and he lets you choose.
Look, I've been hearing Nasser, I've been hearing his statement. But the point is, I made it very clear to you in the beginning that we, the people of Jammu and Kashmir, don't support obscenity. It's not about the majority. You know what? This was the issue raised by minorities in the assembly at this point of time.
Okay, then by that logic, Umesh, let's also answer the role that the governments had to play. How could you even permit this, even if this was a private property? Given that Gulmarg is currently under heavy security, then how did it escape? How did it even escape the government? Isn't that a lapse in itself?
Look, I'll answer you. It was a private event, and when it was brought into notice of the government, we have initiated an inquiry into it. It was a private event. It was a private party, right? We have asked for the details about it.
So will the details in the report that has been sought by the Chief Minister? No, I have questions. I have questions. That is my job. Please allow me to pose my questions. Who gave the permits for ramp? Who gave the permits for liquor consumption? Aren't these permits that are granted by the government?
Look. It's a private party event. It was in a hotel. It was a private hotel, and it was.
So you're saying that under your government, private hotels are allowed to serve alcohol during the month of Ramzan?
If the concerned CEO is involved, if the
Umesh,
concerned
are you
authorities
saying
are
that
involved,
private hotels in Kashmir are allowed to serve alcohol under Ramzan?
Nudity is something that we don't support.
But you're okay with alcohol being served during the holy month of Ramzan in private hotels?
Of course.
Okay.
Let's find out.
Let's also listen to. So who grants them permit to do so? Tausif Shah, I'd like to bring you in on that point.
Yeah. It's very astonishing that Mr. Talashi is saying that yes, they are permitted to sell the alcohol in the month of Ramzan.
I never said it. I never said it. No, I never said it.
I think
you said that we'll see in the report, but you have not acknowledged that there's been a major lapse. No, but Umesh, you need to acknowledge that there's been a lapse under your government, which has not been able to ensure that such events don't happen if you are so condemnable of these events.
Of course we condemn it.
The best part is that the property belongs to the Chief Minister's first cousin. So obviously,
how does it matter?
He must have already known that there's something going to happen. Some event is going to happen.
How does it matter if it belongs to a relative?
Usually keeps on going to Gulmarg. Gulmarg is upset. So it's very vague that he doesn't know. It's exactly the same.
All the things happening around?
It's exactly the same like he said that कि भैया अफजल गुरु की फांसी हुई. I didn't sign. 2013 में यहाँ लोगों को कौन मार रहा है? We don't know.
It could be an opposition stunt. It could be an opposition stunt because opposition is baffled.
How is this an opposition stunt?
But we'll inquire about it. and those involved in it will be
How, Umesh, is
punished
this
under
an
law.
opposition
We will
stand?
accept.
Okay, gentlemen,
Why
please
don't we
give me
let-
30 seconds. Nasser, I have a question for you and I'm going to come to you. Just give me 30 seconds. How is this an opposition stunt, Umesh, when it is your government that's in power? The property owned happens to be of a cousin to the chief minister
It's
himself.
not a government property. It's not a government
but
property.
is it okay?
There
Answer
was no
my
government
I have a
infrastructure
very
there.
pointed question. Do you acknowledge that the property is owned by the cousin of Omar Abdullah?
How does that matter?
No, answer my question, yes or no.
My cousin owns
I
the
am
property.
asking you a question.
He does some- look,
All right,
look,
so
look.
that's a
My
silent
cousin owns the
acknowledgement
property.
that yes,
He
it's the
does a
cousin's
mistake.
property.
Does that come to me? Am I responsible for it?
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Thank
I
you
know
for
that? No, no.
you for absolving yourself for any responsibility over here. But Tausif Shah, how do you respond to the allegation that this could very much be an opposition stunt, perhaps orchestrated by you or the BJP?
You know, how do this is not an opposition stunt? This is the we can say that this is the carelessness of the government. It's a mere carelessness of the government. They are busy with just purchasing the vehicles for the chief minister. They are busy with their CM's house. They are busy with
Don't say
they have nothing to do. They have nothing to do with the state. Now, second thing, why do they need an inquiry over it? There's a video. There are proofs. Everybody knows everything. Even a small child knows everything. What do they need the committee for? Just take it right away, right now, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
Okay, Nasser wants to make a point. Nasser, I have a question for you. While you make that point, I have a question for you.
You're breaking up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can, of course.
In Kashmir, where which has been a hotbed for militancy, the government, both at the state and the centre, basically have made efforts now to control the revival of militancy. At the same time, you're seeing targeted killings being on the rise. And today we are also discussing this because there's been the stirring of a hornet's nest thanks to some various political voices. Is this also becoming a case of misplaced priorities in Kashmir?
I don't know. Look, if you're talking about the targeted killings,
I asked Nasser. I asked Nasser. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Nasser, you can't hear me. Okay, Umesh.
Yeah, I can. No, I can hear you.
Okay, Nasser,
I can hear you.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to say to the gentleman earlier on, here is my gyan to you all, and I'm a reasonably senior man now. I was a very young, dashing-looking guy once upon a time, but that's not the point.
You're still young
Here
and
is my
dashing.
gyan. Thank you. Here is my gyan. If for some reason there has been some kind of a sacrilege or something negative-ish which is not really allowed in our religion in Islam, because it's a month of fasting and the prayer. This is my deal. The Lord Paramatma, Master of the universe, will do the needful. We don't need to get too excited because you and the other gentlemen around are innocent of this whole thing, and no afat, no tsunami has hit us. The Lord shall do the judgment. We are not supposed to judge because we are going to be judged. And the Lord is beneficent and merciful. He knows what to do. So whoever has been involved in all this, the cosmic agents, the cosmic angels will deal with this. We don't have to get too excited. It's done and over with. Something happened. I was not very much for it, but those who wanted it, they did it. The others who didn't want to have anything to do with it stayed away from it, and that's fine. That is the way to deal with it, because every third day there is some festival of some Christian, Jain, Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim. So let it be, meaning we don't have to get... And there is
I am sure all of you gentlemen will agree that religious sensibilities are a very personal matter, but I'd like to just highlight one issue that I'm very glad that the first controversy after 10 years, finally, when there's been an election and a government's come to power, and what was being discussed on the floor of the House was at least not a targeted killing or a militant issue. So that perhaps is the silver lining to this entire controversy. Many thanks to you gentlemen for joining in on the Hard Facts. And with that, it's a quick wrap from my end. Thank you so much for watching the Hard Facts. News and updates continue on CNN News 18.
In first place, the next Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, with 131,674 votes, resulting in 29,457 allocated points, representing 85.9% of the vote.
My government will put into action our plan to build a stronger economy, to create new trading relationships with reliable trading partners, and to secure our borders. There's someone who's trying to do the opposite. There's someone who's trying to weaken our economy. Yeah. Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, as we know, has put, as the Prime Minister just said, unjustified tariffs on what we build, on what we sell, on how we make a living. He's attacking Canadian families, workers, and businesses, and we cannot let him succeed. And we won't. We won't. The Canadian government has rightly retaliated and is rightly retaliating with our own tariffs that will have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impact here in Canada. And my government will keep our tariffs on until the Americans show us respect. The Americans want our resources, our water, our land,